closing in on the green flag at Nashville Superspeedway, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. It's the Rackley Roofing 200. And Phil, it's been a while, so we'll take a closer look at this Camping World track description.
Yeah, what a great facility here in Nashville. You see the turns are banked 14 degrees, front straightaway 9, the back straightaway 6. Remember, this is a concrete surface here all the way around this racetrack. Let's take a look at our race analysis. You see this race is made up of 3 stages, 45 laps, 50 laps, and 55 laps. You see the pit window somewhere between 58 62 laps. That means you can make this final stage without stopping. 150 lap race.
Starting lineup brought to you by Rackley Roofing. A couple of youngsters, Derek Kraus, his first career pole, Jack Wood alongside on the front row, Austin Hill and Enfinger in row 2, Smith and Ryan Priest making his Truck Series debut. There's Sauter along with Ankrum in row 4, Zane Smith and William Byron. First start since 2016. Looking forward to that.
Let's see if we can make contact with Derek Kraus, our pole sitter. Hey, Derek Kraus, Phil Parsons, Vince Welch up in the box booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4, go ahead.
Great job qualifying, buddy, for your first career pole. What are you looking for tonight?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight. It should be good. We'll have clean air in the beginning here, and hopefully we can keep this number 19 thorough good Tundra up in front all night.
Great job so far. Have fun tonight, buddy.
Yeah, 10-4, thank you.
A couple of special camera placement opportunities for us with Hailie Deegan and Josh Berry tonight, Phil.
Yeah, we're going to ride along with Hailie Deegan. This is the Monster 4. We're going to ride along with her. She's had 3 top 15 finishes in the last 5 races. Had a great run going at Texas. Had a pit road miscue. And we're going to also have the visor cam for Hailie Deegan. That's going to be fun to watch. We're also going to ride along with Josh Berry. Josh is a winner already this year in the Xfinity Series. He had a top 10 last time out in this truck at Texas. Doing a great job for Rackley Roofing.
150 laps tonight. This first stage 45 laps, second stage 50 laps, and the final stage is 55 laps for a total of 150. The pace car is off. Derek Kraus on the inside, Jack Wood on the outside, and for the first time in a decade we can say we're racing at Nashville Speedway. Austin Hill wasting no time, jumping up to challenge. Slips into that second spot, and Tyler Ankrum got put in the middle there.
He had an issue for the 26. Zane Smith, the 21, gets by the white and black truck, as well as the 17 of Ryan Priest trying to move by Tyler Ankrum.
Priest in his Truck Series debut, but of course a veteran and a full-time driver in the Cup Series for JTG Daugherty. There's Kraus in the lead. Ankrum has gathered it back up and starting to move forward.
See Carson Hocevar, the 42 truck, pulls to the rear tailgate of the 26 as Ryan Priest, the 17, clears Ankrum.
Still thinking maybe Ankrum not quite completely comfortable. Looks a little tentative in that 26 here to start as Johnny Sauter in the 13 moves, and there's William Byron in the 27. He's right there around the top 10. Well, John Hunter Nemechek started 34th, and he is on the move, already up almost 10 spots.
But look at the mess of trucks that he's in the middle of right now. There's another move. Tanner Gray, the 15, also started back there as well.
You know, if I'm Tanner Gray in that 15, I'm thinking, you know, I'm just going to get behind the 4 of John Hunter Nemechek, and I'm going to make my way through the field with him.
That'd be a good philosophy all year long, I think, Vince.
Initial laps here at Nashville Superspeedway and the Camping World Truck Series. Qualified earlier today after a 50-minute practice session this morning. 36 trucks getting the start. Hailie Deegan there in that one truck is making her way up. Coming off a terrific run last week at Texas. Didn't get the finish she deserved. Had an issue on pit road late that cost her a top 10 finish, but she's been solid today in practice and qualifying. As you see Zane Smith in that 21 make a move. Tanner Gray continues to move in the 15.
There's the 38, Todd Gilliland. Remember, he had to go to the back for an infraction with a body modification along with the 15 of Tanner Gray. He's making his way towards the front as well, moving by Chase Purdy in the 23.
Yeah, the 15 of Tanner Gray and the 38 of Todd Gilliland did not pass technical inspection. There's something in the front end that NASCAR did not like, failed the inspection for a body part not meeting NASCAR's specifications. So the crew chiefs were ejected. Each team docked 25 points, and both had to start at the rear of the field. And we should make the note that they come out of the same garage at Gilliland. Even though Todd Gilliland drives for Front Row, they both come out of the David Gilliland Racing garage. So some similarities obviously there. More on this story from Jamie Howe.
And his dad, David Gilliland, will be his crew chief tonight, as we talked about. But during that practice, he said, you know, it was a good practice this morning, but they still needed more front turn. He said, if we can get the front turn in it, that's just like free speed here at Nashville. But he didn't get to go back out in qualifying. So he went into the race with just a little bit of an unknown, lots of hurry and hustle in that garage this afternoon. So I'm sure in the helmet now, everything is just getting settled in.
Track position is so important here at Nashville. I mean, it always has been, going back to when NASCAR first started racing here in the Truck Series 2001. But Phil, how do you be patient on a track where track position is so important? Because if you get overly aggressive, it can end up costing you.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think they're doing a great job here. Todd Gilliland, as well as the 15 of Tanner Gray. And John Hunter Nemechek doing a nice job. Just try to pass him when you get to him. Just don't take any chances, though, but just try to move by them. They're making their way now up towards the top 20.
John Hunter Nemechek has gotten in front of Hailie Deegan as you ride along with Hailie, and that's John Hunter there just ahead.
I love the visor cam that Hailie Deegan's carrying right here as we see a battle for the 6th spot. Ryan Preece is going to make his way by the 21 of Zane Smith to take over that spot.
Preece going to run in next week at Pocono in the truck as well, so it's good to see him for a couple of weeks in the truck. Certainly an advantage for him as he gets laps here and at Pocono prior to running the Cup car. He's got a couple of Xfinity Series wins on his resume already, and he'd love to add a Truck Series victory to that. Might as well get that Les Paul guitar tonight here in Nashville, huh? Stage 1 from Nashville Superspeedway. Welcome back to the Nashville Superspeedway Camping World Truck Series racing. Stage 1. 14 of 45 laps in the books here in this stage. Riding on board with Hailie Deegan, and there's a look at our race leader. Derek Kraus started on the pole, won the pole in qualifying earlier today. First career pole, 19 years old, from Stratford, Wisconsin. Season best 7th place finish. He's well outside the playoff picture, and for all intents and purposes mathematically not eliminated from a points perspective, but for the most part he needs to win to get in, and he's in a pretty good position. And we should point out that the last 4 races here at Nashville have been won by the pole winner. So Kraus is off to a good start for his day anyway. Let's check in back downstairs. Jamie Little.
The 18 of Chandler Smith, the 18-year-old, what a season he's had, and it hasn't been for the right reasons. They have just struggled week in and week out until the past 2 races. First time they have strung together top 10s, and it has helped. His confidence is up. He drove into this garage today with a new attitude, and it showed. He was fastest in practice. Now they're telling him on the radio, you are the fastest truck on the track right now. Jamie Howe.
And right in front of him on the track is Austin Hill in the number 16. His spotter, Trey Poole, is telling him, as long as you stay on the high side, he can't get past you. So that's what Austin's trying to do right now. He's still looking for his first win of the season. He has finished in the top 10 in 8 of the last 9 races. He's 5th in the playoff standings. So he's just looking to get a W tonight, Vince.
That's right, and I think that time is coming for Austin Hill. There's no question about it. Also doing double duty this weekend. He'll run the Xfinity Series race tomorrow. There's the 15 of Tanner Gray, the 38 of Todd Gilliland, and just ahead of them is the 4 of John Hunter Nemechek. They started 34th, 35th, and 36th, the tail of the field tonight, and they are on the move, currently 20th, 21st, and 22nd.
Yeah, Tanner just got by Todd Gilliland on the last lap. He came coming off his first top 10 of the year last week at Texas, and has a pretty good trucker. Obviously started at the back, but again, these guys are being patient. We saw Nemechek move into the top 20 a number of laps ago, and he's just riding there right now, knowing it's a long way to go here. This first stage is 45 laps. I think everyone's going to run to the end of this stage. Vince put tires on, and then it could open up some possibilities for some strategy if we get a caution right towards the end of that second stage, because these tires are not falling off a lot. They were maintaining their speed. This racetrack has a lot of grip. As we take a look at the great battle for 4th between Enfinger and Jack Wood.
Enfinger in that 98, splitting the season between the 98 and the 9 truck. At least he has up until this point, and it has been a fine season for Grant, but still looking for that first win of the year. And Jack Wood in that 24, super impressive so far today through practice and qualifying. Qualified on the front row. Yeah,
without a doubt. We didn't know a whole lot about him. This is only his 3rd truck race. He ran a handful of ARCA Menards races, ran the West Series some last year, came on board with GMS. Ideally to run the ARCA Menards series, but when they had financial issues with Rafael Lessard, they said, well, why don't we put Jack Wood in that truck? So he's in that truck. Ooh, gets a little bit loose right there as they lap by the 14 of Trey Hutchins, but really doing a super job here tonight.
Now Jack Wood will race all the rest of the races this season in that 24 truck except for Bristol, and modified standout Doug Coby is going to run the 24 truck at Bristol, so a lot of the modified fans will look forward to that, seeing Doug Coby in the truck at that race. Matt Crafton in the 88 trying to work on William Byron. They are just outside the top 10. William Byron's first start of the Truck Series since 2016, that year in which he won 7 races. Teamed up with Rudy Fugle as his crew chief, and now of course Byron runs in the Cup Series with Rudy Fugle as his crew chief, and Rudy's on top of the box helping out William tonight as well.
This is only the 2nd NASCAR race of any kind that William has run since he won the Xfinity Championship back in 2017. Moved to the Cup Series in 2018. He ran Sonoma in the West Series that year just for some experience on that racetrack. Otherwise, he has not run another NASCAR race other than the Cup Series.
Finished 3rd in that race,
yes,
I believe. Memory serves me correctly. 22 to go in stage 1, the Camping World Truck Series at Nashville. Thanks for joining us tonight on FS1 Camping World Truck Series Racing, presented by Blue Emu here at Nashville Superspeedway for the first time since 2011. And a surprise pole winner in Derek Kraus, and a surprise as well for John Hunter Nemechek, having to start 34th tonight, but he's on the move up to 19th. Jamie Howe.
And he knew going into this race that having something that would work on the long runs was going to be key. He was nitpicking just with the fine details on what he needed to make that happen. You see, he's moved up through the field, but now he's complaining that he has no rear grip. He didn't have any tire issues in practice this morning, but of course he wasn't trying to get through the field, so he's struggling just a little bit now.
Still putting up some pretty good lap times, though, in general, Phil.
Yeah, once he got clean racetrack, he's running very comparable lap times to our leader, Derek Kraus. And you know, most of the drivers complained about being tight during that first practice session, which was before it really got hot during the day. Then they all talked about being extremely loose when we qualified, and it sounds like John Hunter's looseness has continued into the race here.
Nemechek, of course, a four-time winner this season. That's Todd Gilliland right on his tail. Gilliland a winner earlier this year as well, victorious at Coda, and Gilliland had to start 35th. So those two have come from the back of the pack, and they continue to chase Derek Kraus as he gets into some lap traffic. You know, interesting story for Kraus as well. You know, last year he missed the playoffs by just 13 points. Remember, it went right down to the final regular season race, whether or not he was going to get in or not, and ended up just missing, and just did not get off to a good start. This year at Daytona was 33rd, had the good run on the road course with a 7th place finish, but then was 32nd at Las Vegas, 38th at Bristol. They were 35th at Darlington. I mean, just haven't, you know, not just they haven't finished, but they've had some bad finishes that they haven't really been able to overcome. Just put them in a deep hole. Man, those are hard to get out of.
They really are, and we saw him do so well last year too. Kind of came out of nowhere. Was very competitive on a lot of different racetracks. I think he had a runner-up finish. Actually was leading the race at Darlington last year on the last lap till Ben Rhodes got by him, and just hasn't, as you mentioned, have not got the finishes this year. But we can erase all of that if he can continue with the run he's having tonight like he is.
There's the 15 of Tanner Gray, also had to start at the back along with Nemechek and Gilliland. What's the latest on the 15, Jamie Little?
Well, Tanner Gray in the 15 is up 15 spots into 21st right now. He's on the move, says he's just a little bit tight off the wall, but he's coming off his best finish of the year of 9th, and he came in with that kind of speed this morning in practice. They were so good. 7th on the board. They told him this is a stacked field and we're proud of you. So they knew what they had, and even though they had to start in the back, they're still able to make a comeback. Jamie Howe.
And for Todd Gilliland, he's complaining on the radio right now that it's just too loose. He says it's shattering the rears on both ends as he's trying to come up through the field. So they're all kind of struggling now with only 11 laps to go in this first stage.
Well, they'll look forward to that first pit stop and get some adjustments and some fresh tires.
Yeah, and I love that Todd Gilliland does not like his truck, because 2 of the last 3 laps he was the fastest truck on the racetrack, Vince.
You drivers, you know, always complaining. Well, no question that it's going to handle a little bit differently in the traffic as Gilliland looks to make the move on John Hunter Nemechek. This is going to be a good battle throughout the course of the race, regardless if they're battling for the lead or if they're battling for 19th as they are now.
I don't know that I ever remember, as we see this great side-by-side battle, so many of the fastest laps of the race running by trucks running around the 20th spot. Tanner Gray was the fastest truck on the racetrack that last lap, and he's running 21st.
John Hunter fends him off for the time being, but Gilliland taking another look on the bottom. Less than 10 laps left here in stage 1. We're going to take a break, but you won't miss a thing. Going to keep it side by side and keep on trucking from Nashville. You've been watching some good battles. This one right here for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Everybody jockeying for some stage points as we've got 5 to go in stage 1. Carson Hocevar in the 42, still trying to get underneath and make the pass on the 0-2 of Chris Wright. Johnny Sauter there in the 13, and you've got the 26 of Tyler Ankrum.
I don't care what you do, how long this freaking pit stop takes. Tighten me up.
Head 4, stay with it here. I'll tighten you up. You just keep going there for a couple more laps.
However long it takes, please tighten me up.
Sounded pretty desperate, didn't it?
Yeah.
Tyler Ankrum's had enough of this green flag run, hasn't he? Ankrum's still there on the bottom, and now William Byron has come in to join the crowd in the 27 truck. Matt Crafton is right there in the 88. Man, there's Ty Majeski in the 66. 2 laps to go in this stage, and it is good.
Looks like the last lap of the race, doesn't it? Wow.
Everybody jockeying for position and those valuable stage points that come with a top 10 finish. Jamie Howe on the 88 of Crafton.
Matt Crafton saying right now that the center off is his biggest issue. He said he has absolutely no lateral grip to the point that right rear feels like it has 100 pounds in it. So he's certainly looking forward for his trip to pit lane.
Well, he is not alone. There's no question.
And every one of the Xfinity crew chiefs and Cup crew chiefs are watching this and listening to the feedback. They want to know what this racetrack is going to do with some laps on it, and I think they're finding out. Most of what we're hearing is we're searching for rear grip.
And Todd Gilliland and Tanner Gray have both gotten around John Hunter Nemechek. Final lap of stage 1. Derek Kraus in that 19 has led them all from the pole. Well, this is an evening he will not soon forget. It has been nearly perfect so far here tonight. His 2nd career stage win. Derek Kraus, stage 1 at Nashville Superspeedway. Who's going to get those stage points? Austin Hill, Chandler Smith, Enfinger right on through the top 10. And the caution is out. Stage 1 is complete. Those first pit stops, much needed for so many of these drivers needing some help with their trucks. Coming your way next from Nashville. here in Nashville. Stage 1 is complete. Derek Kraus led them all from the pole. You see the other drivers that picked up stage points. Of course, Ryan Preece and William Byron not eligible for points because they run in the Cup Series.
See Chandler Smith with 8 points. Johnny Sauter getting points, as well as Tyler Ankrum. Those guys in that torrid battle for 10th in the playoff standings. Vince, I like the idea here. I mean, if I'm Nemechek or Tanner Gray, maybe Todd Gilliland, let's do 2 tires. Let's mix it up a little bit. This is going to be a relatively short stage by the time we go back to racing. Try to get some of that track position because it looks like it's really hard to come by on the racetrack.
Well, if you're going to gamble, you might as well gamble
do it now.
right?
See if it works.
Early in the race. Derek Kraus, you mentioned that he's led them all, led more laps tonight than in his entire career before this evening. He's the first truck onto pit road, and Jamie Little will be there waiting on him to get into the box.
And it sure has been a perfect night for Derek Kraus so far. At the end there, though, he said he didn't know if he had a tire coming apart, that it just got worse. They made an air pressure adjustment. It'll be a 4-tire stop. A little slow on that right rear. Chandler Smith in. They made that wedge adjustment as well as an air pressure and 4 tires. Needs better front turn. Jamie Howe.
For Austin Hill, he also needs some more center rotation. He said he's pointing it towards the wall too early. He's got to drive it in straight to keep it underneath him. Scott Zipadelli said, we're going to give you a track bar adjustment, a little bit of air pressure, just so you can get some more confidence. Austin's back out.
Yeah, a little slow on a couple of those stops. I didn't see any 2-tire takers from your strategy, Phil.
Yeah, they're showing Zane Smith and Grant Enfinger with no tires.
Well, I can't believe that.
That's hard to believe. Johnny Sauter also with no tires.
We'll double check that, but I gotta believe.
I think they at least put 2 tires on, certainly.
I would imagine. Yeah. That or you're going to really be screaming if you're a driver, huh? Welcome back to the Rackley Roofing 200 from Nashville Superspeedway. Camping World Truck Series, Stage 1 in the books. Derek Kraus was your Stage 1 winner. First race here since 2011, and Haley Deegan was 10 years old at the time. She was not in the last race.
Racing
here.
Bandoleros.
How about Chandler Smith there with the young Chad Knaus, Derek Kraus, age 9. Doesn't look a whole lot different now. Carson Hocevar, the old quarter midget days.
You could tell he was tall then. Back at 8 years old, he was going to be a tall one.
And Haley Deegan, she's grown up a little bit, but still hustling the car around the track. Check in with Jamie Howe.
Austin Hill has received confirmation from his team that he was right. He was suffering with some tire wear issues. These are the set of tires that came off of the number 16 truck. Look at this. This was the right rear. Toyota engineers have actually been over to take a picture of it just because it is such excessive wear. They told him there's not really a whole lot we can do about it at this point, but you did a great job fighting it in that first stage.
And we had a little discrepancy in the graphic as we left to go to commercial break that showed some drivers taking taking 0 tires, in fact, but we have confirmed that all have taken 4. So you had the suggestion maybe take 2 for some track position because track position is so valuable, but no takers on that philosophy.
Yeah,
easy to say when you're in the broadcast booth instead of down on the track.
And we saw the wear on the right sides, and I guess they probably didn't know what the left sides were going to look like either. They probably felt like it was a better opportunity to look at all 4 to see what the wear is and then maybe save that for later in the race if they want to do some strategy.
Radio from Derek Kraus in the 19 camp.
Sorry about the stop, man. We'll get better. We got a fast truck. Let's go get them. There's 100 to go. It's way too early for you to quit talking to me. Take a deep breath. We'll pick them guys up.
Yeah, Mark Hillman, the crew chief on that 19, and the spotter is Freddie Kraft. Trying to keep their driver in the game mentally as we get on this restart with Chandler Smith leading the way. Stage 2 from Nashville. Austin Hill right on the tailgate of the 18 of Smith.
Yeah, nice push by Austin Hill. Gets both of those trucks out in front of Jack Wood. Now Grant Enfinger is going to move to the inside and make it 3 wide.
3 wide for second place, but Zane Smith going to fight it off and grab the position. Enfinger is going to get 3rd. Hill slips to 4th. And a little side-by-side for 5th as Jack Wood battles with Derek Kraus. They started this race on the front row. Now they're battling for 5th.
Boy, heavy traffic back here. Todd Gilliland, Tanner Gray. Ooh, look at Ty Majeski jump through the center. A problem for the 26 of Tyler Ankrum. Falling way back.
Ankrum and Creed maybe even touched there as Creed was trying to get by on the outside. Parker Kligerman in the 75. Now Creed on the outside of the 4 of John Hunter Nemechek. Some great side-by-side battles off this restart here to begin stage 2.
See the blue and white number 23 of Chase Purdy thinking about making it 3 wide for a moment. Now Parker Kligerman's going to jump in behind Sheldon Creed.
Boy, Nemechek, Creed, and Purdy and Kligerman. There's 4 aggressive drivers right there. Well, looking for a little bit of space.
And all of these drivers that we're used to seeing run up front outside the top 15 right now, Vince.
Yeah, there's Matt Crafton in the 88. He's 9th. Sauter and Gilliland right there around the 10th spot. William Byron in the 27. Up to 7th. Ryan Preece in the 17, so a couple of Cup guys down here getting some experience on this 1.33 mile racetrack for Sunday.
It looks like Ankrum is back up to speed now as he slots in behind the 1 of Haley Deegan. You see him right in the middle here. Watch this, Vince.
The 26 and the 2 get together at all?
I don't think so. Maybe it almost looked like his truck shut off or something. It didn't look like it didn't look like it was out of shape, Jamie Little.
Well, he's been complaining that he's extremely loose. So after that moment, he said, guys, I'm not going to lie. I'm hanging on for dear life out here. Not happy. He's got a mean truck underneath him right now.
Well, that's a really tough position to be in, fresh off a pit stop. I mean, we just had pit stops. They just made adjustments to this truck, and it's already feeling that way again.
These tires are as good as they're going to be right now, right after this restart. But remember, he said earlier, I don't care how long it takes. Tighten me up. I'll stay on pit road forever. Just tighten me up.
Ankrum is 22nd. That's a long way to the front. Chandler Smith and that 18 truck is your leader. Zane Smith, no relation, is running second in the 21.
Both of these drivers looking for a good run. We talk about Chandler Smith, his 2 good runs the last 2 weeks, and Zane Smith's been fast all year, Jamie Howe, but just hasn't got the top 5 finishes to prove it.
And he did say just back on lap 45, he was too loose everywhere around the racetrack. They tightened him up at that pit stop, and when they went back out, his spotter, Josh Williams, told him, you were better than Chandler Smith was the entire first stage. Waste no time in catching up to him and then getting him around him.
What's interesting, this track has really taken a swing because this morning during practice, everyone that we talked to and heard from said tight, tight, tight. And now it seems as though they're all battling loose.
I heard that during the Xfinity practice as well, Evan, when talking tight, tight, tight. And then we immediately went into truck qualifying. Everyone was talking about loose, and the racetrack has stayed loose. I think as the racetrack is cooling off, the track temperature cooling off, it looks like these trucks are gaining front grip, which means that front end is becoming planted to the racetrack, and the back end is now not as stable as it was.
And we've run 15 laps here in the second stage. There's Jack Wood and Austin Hill. Wood in the 24. Hill in the 16. Austin Hill, regular season champ a year ago, still looking for his first win this season. And with Austin Hill, who's in that fourth spot, I mean, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. At least that's the impression that we've gotten throughout the course of this season. They've had speed, just haven't been able to put it all together on the same night.
This is a great illustration, though, of how evenly matched these trucks are. That third truck in line right now, Derek Kraus, that led our first 48 laps. Nobody could touch him. Now he's back in this traffic, this dirty air here, and he's having trouble with Jack Wood.
Yeah, I mean, Kraus won pole, and let me just make this clear. He didn't just edge his way to the pole. He won the pole, out-qualified everyone else by nearly 3/10 of a second. Nearly 3/10 between the pole speed and the second fastest.
Yeah, that's really unheard of, as competitive as this truck series is right now.
Chandler Smith and Zane Smith. They're out front. It's those Smith boys. Chandler is your leader. It's the Camping World Truck Series from Nashville. Johnny Sauter and teammate Matt Crafton side by side for 10th. 27 to go here in stage 2. Pole winner Derek Kraus led them all in stage 1, but Kraus now finds himself back in 6th while this battle continues to heat up for 10th.
They are teammates too, Vince.
Stuart Friesen just right there waiting to pounce if one should have to lift or make a mistake.
I think Johnny would be able to move on away from Matt if he was able to get by him. Hasn't had any luck clearing him yet. Maybe with that little bit of a push by Friesen, maybe he can clear him here.
Still unable as Crafton gets some momentum on the outside.
And when he pulls up on the outside, that's going to make Johnny even looser. So whatever momentum he had coming off the corner, he will lose.
Remember Sauter. Oh, Sauter lost it right there, just as you said, Phil. And I was going to say, remember Sauter on the outside looking in as far as the playoff picture is concerned coming into this race tonight.
Needs to pile up the stage points right now outside the top 10. Matt has that 10th spot. Johnny needs to get by Matt and head on towards the other top 10 runners.
You see the playoff standings over in the pylon off to the left. Hocevar currently in 10th on the bubble by 1 point, separating he and Chandler Smith. Stuart Friesen at plus 15. That's not feeling very safe either, I can assure you. Of course, Johnny Sauter trying to climb past Chandler Smith in the standings, and Chandler Smith is your race leader, so making that challenge even more difficult for Johnny Sauter, the former series champ. How about the 98 of Grant Enfinger, Jamie Little?
We're watching the Thor Sport teammates going at it. This 98 truck, Grant Enfinger has been the class of the field in those Thor Sport trucks all day long. Fastest in practice, great qualifying effort, and now running third. Keep in mind, he's the only driver in the top 4 who doesn't have to think about points and championship. He's all about the win. He's battling that truck just like everybody, and they just told him, keep digging. It's really hard to pass, but just keep your head in the game.
Yeah, Enfinger has run all the races but one. He was supposed to run a part-time schedule for Thor Sport this season in the 98 truck. He did not run the Daytona road course. But since then, he started picking up races that he wasn't running the 98. He started picking those up for Cody Robo's team in the 9 truck.
And running well.
Running very well. In fact, he's got the 3rd best average finish of all the full-timers and would be firmly entrenched in a playoff position. But technically, by the letter of the rule book of NASCAR, he is ineligible for the playoffs. He petitioned for a waiver and was denied. But boy, it's a shame because Enfinger has certainly done a great job running for 2 different organizations, and I think has certainly proven himself playoff worthy this season and then some, in my opinion.
And Vince, we've talked about this a number of times, and I think you want to make an exception.
I would. As soon as they make me czar of NASCAR, Phil, I'm going to do that.
All righty.
Chandler Smith by 0.7 of a second. He's opened it up a little bit now over Zane Smith, but Zane is not too far back, with Austin Hill running inside the top 5. Jack Wood in the 24. Wood started on the outside of the front row. Best qualifying effort certainly in his young career. Of course, we don't qualify much anymore, but it was an impressive run for Jack Wood in qualifying today. 20 to go in stage 2 from Nashville. You saw it during the commercial break, and that 27 truck of William Byron was running inside the top 10. The big puff of smoke out the back end, and that was all she wrote. No oil pressure or water pressure lead you to believe that the engine has expired.
Yeah, I was just glad it didn't dump a bunch of oil or fluid down on the racetrack. You see right there, right in front of that side-by-side battle between Sauter and Crafton.
That got their attention.
There's no doubt. Tough break. William had a great run going. As you mentioned, Vince, in the top 10.
It's been fun to see. William, of course, had practice this morning and qualifying today. And Rudy Fugel, there's a sign that the night is done. He got the backpack on and headed to the hauler. Start thinking about that Cup car for Sunday's race.
What an amazing year they've had in that Cup Series.
I think it's one of the great stories of the year, and what Rudy Fugel has done. I mean, to make that jump from Truck Series crew chief to Cup crew chief at a powerhouse organization like Hendrick, and to have the impact that he's had. And you talk to the other crew chiefs and personnel at Hendrick, and they talk about what a great contribution Rudy has made to that team, and it's been a big story this year.
You see all the guys on pit road now, Vince, that points don't really matter that much. Grant Enfinger, Austin Hill, who has such a huge lead in the points without a win.
Jamie Little is there for Grant Enfinger's stop.
Little bit of a cluster. There was a back and forth. Nobody was going to pit until the last minute. Grant Enfinger, they decided to come in and just take 4 tires at this juncture. A couple sets left. Jamie Howe.
Austin Hill also making the decision with Scott Zipadelli to make their way to pit lane. After that last stop, they did raise the air pressure, but he was starting to hit the splitter, and it was causing him to have some chatter off the corner, so they're adjusting that. It's a pretty lengthy stop, though, but he's out now.
Yeah, had some trouble getting that wrench in the back end to make that chassis adjustment.
I like the strategy to stop now. I'm not sure that they can make it to the end of the race. They're going to have a number of caution laps here, as well as a number of caution laps during the second stage break. That should get them pretty close to their window.
Coming back for the final laps of stage 2. back at Nashville Superspeedway. NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. You see up in the upper left-hand corner, we're under caution, 13 to go, and there have been a couple of penalties assessed. One, that truck that was just circled there, that's Todd Gilliland. Watch him run over that orange box right here at the entrance to pit road.
Yeah, all 4 tires have to be inside that orange box. Obviously, a last-second decision for Gilliland to come down pit road.
And Josh Berry also penalized for an uncontrolled tire. So we're getting the green with 12 to go in stage 2. That's Chandler Smith out front.
Look at them 4 wide, Vince.
Wow. Jack Wood in that 24 eventually said, I think I'm going to slip back out of this mess and not be a part of it. Probably a wise decision.
A nice move by Matt Crafton. Look at, he's going to try to jump to the high side of Johnny Sauter. Remember, Johnny worked so hard to get by him prior to the end, prior to that caution flag, and now looks like Matt's going to get him back.
Important stage points for Sauter, however. He's on the outside looking in the playoff picture. And remember, after tonight, just 3 to go in the regular season to get one of those 10 playoff spots.
Tanner Gray, that white red number 15 truck, gets by Crafton.
Crafton now take a look on the inside, swings back to the outside on Gray. Side by side for position. That's for 5th.
They've done a nice job hanging tough there on the outside, through turn 4. It had the momentum, and it's going to clear Tanner when they get down to turn 1.
Well, the restarts always provide such excitement. We had that restart because of the caution involving William Byron and the engine expiring on his 27 truck. Dawson Cram, by the way, got the free pass because of that caution. Final 10 laps here in stage 2. Derek Kraus, our pole winner, won stage 1 by leading all the laps. Hey, speaking of William Byron, let's go down here from him with Jamie Little.
And William Byron's day is done. Any indication, William, that anything was happening before it initially let go?
Yeah, we had a couple times it stumbled, like it was maybe stumbling a little bit, but I thought it was just maybe the wind. Sometimes you get that down the backstretch, and then into one there, just once I let off the gas completely, just started to kind of lug, and I knew right then, I was like, man, there's got to be something wrong, and I think I said something down the backstretch, and by the time we got over to turn 1, it was gone. So bummer, but I learned some things. Had a couple restarts and learned some characteristics about the racetrack, and thanks to Rackley Roofing and Willie Allen, all the guys. Truck was pretty good. I think we're going to run, probably around the top 5, so it was going to be a pretty good day. So we'll learn from it and move on.
Thanks, William. Vince?
Thank you, Jamie. Watching the 2 of Sheldon Creed, their battle with Ryan Preece in that 17. Remember, the 2 of Creed has new tires, and just ahead of him, you've got Grant Enfinger, and he is the first one of the bunch with new tires, and Enfinger runs 9th.
Preece is able to grab that spot. Sheldon's teammate Chase Purdy, the 23, is trying to move to the inside.
John Hunter Nemechek there as well. Some really strong trucks in that section of the field. Purdy he's giving Creed all he wants, doesn't he?
Yeah, Sheldon Creed's put his hand out the window saying, hey, give me a break here.
Teammate.
Give me a break. Yes, teammate.
Sheldon saying, I don't know, man, want this to be a team game. John Hunter Nemechek going to give a little shove to Creed, and they're going to move past the 23 of Purdy. And Nemechek had thoughts about trying to get underneath Creed for position. That didn't quite work out.
We turned him sideways when he gave him that push. Now he's going to jump to the inside.
Yep. Well, we've seen a lot of trucks take the air off the other truck in front of them, and that's been a difference maker on many passes tonight. Don't even have to actually make physical contact.
That's physical contact right there.
That is physical contact, yes.
Exactly.
Kligerman in the middle. That's Ty Majeski in the 66 running another truck out of the Thorsport stable.
Ran at Charlotte, had a top 10 finish, his best career finish at Charlotte in that 66 truck.
Kraus and Johnny Sauter for third. This is as good a run as we've seen Johnny Sauter have maybe all season.
He's had a couple top 5 finishes. Remember, he put a couple top 5s in a little 3-race stretch back earlier in the year.
4th at Atlanta, 5th at Richmond. But I think this is as early. I mean, and Atlanta and Richmond were a long time ago. But I think this is as early as he's been up front. I think in both of those races, if memory serves me correctly, he kind of came up at the end and ended up getting those spots. But a solid run for Sauter here tonight. As you see there in the pylon on the left-hand side of the screen, he's still 20 points outside the cut line. He came into this race 8.
Yeah, we talked about the experience here at Nashville, where Johnny's got to run or finish in the Xfinity Series as well as the Truck Series. So maybe this is the time where that experience is paying off when this racetrack starts changing.
Pits are closed here as we're in the final 2 laps of this second stage. Todd Gilliland in 18th in that 38 truck. That's Carson Hocevar just ahead of him. Crafton in 5th. Going to get some more stage points, as is Ben Rhodes, a couple of trucks behind him in that silver and black 99. Final lap here in stage 2. Chandler Smith trying to hold off Zane Smith for this stage win. It will be Chandler Smith's first stage win of the season. He's going to take the green and white checkers. Chandler Smith wins stage 2. Some big stage points there for drivers like Zane Smith and Derek Kraus, Johnny Sauter. How about Chandler Smith? Go ahead, young man, give us a smile. There it is. Well deserved. Stage 2 winner at Nashville. what a beautiful sight. So glad to be back in Nashville. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series beginning a triple header weekend with the Xfinity Series tomorrow, Cup on Sunday. That's sunset. Nashville, over 180 live music venues, the highest concentration of music industry employees anywhere in the world. And boy, if you haven't been there, you want to get downtown Nashville and enjoy some of the live music and festivities. As you see the points earned tonight through the first two stages. Derek Kraus won stage 1, Chandler Smith won stage 2.
Chandler Smith with 18 points so far tonight. Coming here and needing points. It worked his way above the cut line at Texas last time out. Having a great night so far.
Most recently, some drivers pitted at lap 80, and the top 8 all pitted at lap 49. So, of course, that's going to be a long line headed to pit road. And Grant Enfinger, the first one to stay out in that group, and Friesen going to stay out as well. Jamie Little is down for pit stops.
Derek Kraus in the 19. This truck has just been solid all night. Air pressure adjustment is all they did last time. They had a pep talk and said, we got to put it together, boys. Don't give up any time on pit road. A 4-tire stop here. Chandler Smith having the race of the year for him. A 4-tire stop here. 2 rounds up on the track bar. Needs better front turn. Jamie Howe.
From Zane Smith, he told the team, I need some water. I also need a tear off. And the adjustments that they're going to make to this truck is one turn down on the track bar. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment. He said, I was trying everything out there. I just couldn't catch up to Chandler Smith. Hopefully these changes will help him out.
Vince, I think a lot of those teams that came in on lap 80 decided to come back down, get a little bit of fuel. It was a little bit too far to go to the end on fuel. Didn't take the time to change tires, came in and put a little fuel in, enough to get to the end.
Well, and that's going to help them when it comes to gaining that all-important track position. Is it going to pay off? Hey, tomorrow on FS1, it's showtime. Catch Shohei Ohtani as he looks to continue his dominant season for the Angels. They take on Phil's Detroit Tigers. It's tomorrow, 10 o'clock Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Beautiful night in Nashville. Stage 2 in the books. Grant Enfinger will be the leader as we get ready for the third and final stage.
Let's see if we can talk to Grant Enfinger. Hey, Grant Enfinger, Phil Parsons, Vince Welch, Fox booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Phil.
I know we don't have a lot of time. You pitted on lap number 80. That left you 70 laps to go, Grant. Can you make it the rest of the way? Is that the plan?
I got no idea, but I got a lot of confidence in J-Rod in there, so we'll do the best we can. We just needed some track position here. So thank you to Champion Power Equipment, Mike Curb, and Stu Thorson. So let's get ready to do this.
All right, thanks, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah, J-Rod, Jared Prince, and he should be commended for the great job he has done this season as crew chief for the 98. He previously was the truck chief on the 88 of Crafton. This is his first year as a crew chief, doing a great job with that 98.
Yeah, he was Frank Kimmel's crew chief when Frank won his 10th ARCA Menards championship for Thor Sport. That's it. Near side right there. That's J-Rod.
Yep. Enfinger on the inside, Stuart Friesen on the outside. It's the final stage from Nashville. Oh, Hocevar looking to squeeze through the middle. Thought better of it. Good decision. Friesen side by side with Enfinger for the lead. Oh, and Sauter has gone around.
Johnny was at the back of the pack. He had a penalty on that last pit stop.
Yeah, for too fast exiting. So it just has gone from bad to worse.
That'll help
Johnny.
That'll help Stuart Friesen and Grant Enfinger. Those guys trying to save fuel, if that is their plan, to make it on fuel.
By the way, we mentioned Sauter's penalty, speeding on pit road. Tanner Gray also penalized for an uncontrolled tire. So for you Tanner Gray fans, and Tanner's been having a good run tonight, make note of it. What a move by Friesen on this start. Watch Hocevar take a peek in the middle as if to think, I'm going to split the difference, and then Friesen says no.
Yeah, there was room for a moment there, but Friesen gets a great run on the outside of the racetrack, and it gets Grant really, really loose there. You see him get sideways and have to get out of the throttle.
And then watch Johnny Sauter, that silver truck right here in the middle. Maybe a little bit of help. Yes. And that's the 15 of Tanner Gray. Johnny's got a pretty long memory. Guessing he won't forget that anytime soon.
Yeah, well, it looked like Tanner Gray was going to try to make the move on the inside. He wasn't clear up beside Johnny, but when Johnny came back down, Tanner was there, and they just caught his left rear corner with his nose. You can see just a little bit of a blemish at the very corner of that bumper.
You know, when you get spun like that, you don't want to hear any excuses.
No, you really don't.
Friesen radio.
We're about 4 laps short for making it right now based on our mileage first year run. So I just need you to save everything you got under caution. I'm sure it's not the last one. I'm just banking on a few more as we get going.
You heard it there. It was a gamble for Stuart Friesen to stay out on the racetrack as crew chief. John Leonard, he asked him, what do you need? He kind of chuckled. Stuart did. He said 20 more horsepower, but really he said it's tight, then it's loose, and it's tight again. He's moving the brake bias from the front to the back and back to the front. He said there's just no balance. It's all over the place, but they're going to take every chance they can.
Yeah, you saw a good look at Trip Bruce there as well on the box for that 52 of Friesen. I don't think it's the horsepower that Friesen needs. I think it's a couple of gallons of gas that he probably needs more.
Exactly. And then I'm sure right now Stuart's doing all he can do as far as saving fuel. And we heard the crew chief John Leonard say, hey, that you were about 3 or 4 laps short. And you can see right now, you see how he loses ground to the pace car. That's because he had shut the engine off and let it coast, and then he fires it back up and catches back up to the pace car. Will continually do that. It's amazing how much fuel these guys are allowed to or are able to save here on caution flags.
Yeah, those top 2 trucks, Friesen and Enfinger, last pitted on lap 80. The rest of them all on lap 99. Jamie Little.
Vince, we've talked a lot about Thor Sport tonight. They've got 5 trucks in the field, and what's even cooler for this team is up the road about 25 minutes from here. They've got the Thor Sport Farm. They show beautiful horses. They had a farm jam yesterday. All their drivers came, and it was a great opportunity to hang out in a casual setting with the drivers. I even took this one for a few laps. This is the horsepower I prefer personally, but this team, Thor Sport Racing, they love their horsepower, whether it's 4 legs or 4 wheels. It was a great experience and great time with all of the drivers.
Yeah, look at you, girl. Go, girl. That was very well done, Jamie.
Now, is that 1 horsepower, Vince? Is that what the equivalent to?
Well, 4 legs, so I'm going to call that 4
all
horsepower.
All right, good.
Well, here we are in the early laps of stage 3, the final stage, which is 55 laps in distance. Waiting to get to the choose cone, get lined up, gives us an opportunity to remind you that the impact of the pandemic on youth sports has been significant. I'm sure you've experienced it already if you have children of your own. And while recovery has started in some communities, kids most in need are still on the sidelines. So we encourage you to visit goodsports.org to learn how you can help Fox Sports and Good Sports restore play for at-risk youth and the programs that serve them through donations of brand new sports equipment. Goodsports.org. It's so great to see the fans back in the stands and the kids enjoying being at the racetrack, and the big kids too. We all like being back.
That's right. See, Stuart Friesen has chosen the outside. That's where he was able to make the move on Grant Enfinger and wrestle that lead away. How about Ryan Preece in his first ever Truck Series start? Right now, 2nd truck in line on the inside.
Our Blue Emu race summary. You see the leaders. We've had 5 of them. Stage 1 winner Derek Kraus. Stage 2 winner Chandler Smith. Stuart Friesen, the current leader on this restart, but he's going to have plenty of company. Grant Enfinger will start alongside Ryan Preece in the 17, that green truck, on the inside of row 2, with Carson Hocevar on the outside of the 2nd row for this restart.
And I think if I'm up front, I'm going to play this like it's going to be the last restart, Vince. I think it's going to be a critical restart for these drivers.
The green back out at Nashville. Friesen and Enfinger side by side going to turn 1. Hocevar right there behind them.
A really good push by Hocevar in the back bumper of Friesen, but Grant Enfinger's able to stay right with Friesen.
Yeah, Ryan Preece not going away either, and Chandler Smith and Todd Gilliland up there in the mix. Enfinger clears Friesen. Can he hang on to it? He does. Enfinger to the front.
Nice slide job there by Grant Enfinger to get that lead back.
Preece slips into 3rd. Chandler Smith 4th.
How about Todd Gillen up there battling Hocevar for the 5th position?
We've really seen an uptick in the performance of the trucks out of the DGR garage in the last few races. Derek Kraus and Sheldon Creed. Haven't talked a lot about Creed tonight. He's back in 11th. Kraus the pole winner in that 19 truck. Gilliland makes the move around the outside, clears Hocevar. That was tight.
Hocevar got loose. That's going to allow Chandler Smith to not quite clear him.
Gilliland got them both. Big move for Gilliland from 6th to 4th. And there is Derek Kraus. Problem for the 19. Into the wall. And the caution back out.
You could tell he had some sort of an issue. He had certainly slowed on the racetrack. Obviously either cut down a right front tire.
I was going to say that seemed to be the characteristic of it, and boy, a heartbreaker for Derek Kraus. Pole winner in dominating fashion earlier today in qualifying. Led the first 48 laps of the race. Stage 1 winner, as we had just mentioned a few moments ago, and now the night is going to be finished.
AMR safety team right there as soon as that truck came to rest.
And if there was any hope for Derek Kraus from a points perspective of getting into the playoffs, those hopes are dashed. He's going to have to win one of these last 3 regular season races if he's to get in.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I tell you, that was a pretty hard lick there, Vince. You know, we have safer barriers, and it's certainly not like hitting a concrete wall, but there's nothing about those safer barriers that are soft.
The safety crew is there tending to Kraus. Saw the window net down and Derek climbing out now. Probably as much heartbroken as anything, and not to take away from the impact of the hit, but got to believe Derek felt like maybe this was a night he was going to have his best chance of putting it in victory lane.
Yeah, so good all night long. A first in the first stage, a third in the second stage.
He is hobbling a little bit as the safety crew continues to chat with him.
When Derek got into the wall, you saw him just sit back in his seat, and he radioed to the guys, that one hurt. So he's definitely sore right now as the medical crew continues to talk to him and ask him questions. If he does make it to the infield care center, we will get a word from him, guys. Terrible ending to a night that was so magical. They had such a great truck and great speed, Vince.
Indeed. Kraus, 19 years old, from Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's really hard to put into words how a lick like that hurts, Vince. It's and you know it's coming. When you cut down a right front tire, you break a right front suspension, you know it's coming, and it seems like it takes about 10 minutes for that impact to happen. But man, it hurts.
Good to see him be able to walk to the ambulance and climb in, and here it is, the 19 there on the right hand side of your screen. And just got a little bit of a bump from the 25 of Josh Berry.
Yeah, tried to get in the hole in between a couple trucks, and you saw the damage there. He got in the wall with the right front corner down the middle of the straightaway, and I'm sure that tire was coming down and eventually blew out. Tough break, though. It looked like he tried to get in front of Josh Berry, and let's ride along with Josh, Benson.
Get a good look at it here.
Yeah. You can see Josh is going to try to close that hole up, and as he was pulling up into that hole, Derek came over. And
it's been tight tonight. I mean, we have seen several near misses. That obviously ends up in a car or truck on the hook. But we've had several tonight that have been almost accidents, and it has just been so difficult to gain any track position, and you've got to take advantage of every opportunity that presents itself, and sometimes it's a real opportunity and sometimes it's fool's gold.
Yeah, these drivers are fighting for every single spot on the racetrack. They know, especially now with 36 laps to go, every spot really counts.
Well, and these cautions help a driver like our leader Grant Enfinger. He's maybe trying to stretch that fuel to the very end.
Black dog on a rusty chain, broken windows and cellophane, front yard barking in the rain, barking in the rain. Black boots on a muddy road, tattoo of a skull and bone, long cut on the radio when I'm going home. Don't talk about what you don't understand.
Yeah, Nashville, Music City. Welcome back to the Rackley Roofing 200. Getting down to the nitty-gritty here. 34 to go. Jamie Howe.
David Gilliland filling in as crew chief for his son Todd tonight. This Father's Day weekend on the radio, you said that was awesome, bud. I'm so proud of you. How happy is he with this truck from this final stage?
He's really happy with the balance, and we've made him work a little harder than he should have, or he signed up to do today, starting in the back. But very proud of all the guys. We're missing Chris Lawson right now. Not the way we wanted to do it, but extra special to be able to crew chief for Todd. So hopefully he can bring home a win. We got our other truck, our DGR truck, in second with Ryan Priest. So it's getting ready to get exciting.
Let's get back there.
Yeah, the 38 and 15 of Tanner Gray both had their crew chiefs ejected for violations in tech today. So David Gilliland jumped up on the box to crew chief for his son, and it has been a pretty cool experience as Grant Infinger had his hands full there. And Ryan Priest, who David just mentioned, has jumped to the front. He took advantage of that big wiggle from the 98.
How about Zane Smith jumping around the outside of Stuart Friesen into third?
Remember, Friesen and Infinger last pitted on lap 80. That's 19 laps later than everybody else, or 19 laps earlier. So yeah, they have 19 laps less fuel, if you will. But we've had several caution laps that have helped as Infinger goes back around Ryan Priest for the lead.
Zane Smith on a great spot up in third. Look at this. Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable. 4 wide and 3 deep.
Pushing, shoving, touching.
I think that's an HR violation, Phil.
Sounds like a Chicago song, I think. Then you talk about the caution laps. We've had 20 caution laps since those guys pitted on lap number 80. That might be enough to get him in that window.
Chase Purdy right there in the middle as well. Man, there have been so many times where we've seen 3 or 4 wide tonight, and somehow they've managed to make the right decisions each time. Jack Wood in the 24 trying it around the outside, taking a look, and now sliding in behind Parker Kligerman.
Jack has really done a nice job tonight. Ran up in the top 5 early on. He's accumulated 10 stage points. Now he's going to jump to the outside of the 75 of Kligerman.
It's just outside the top 10. Gilliland on the back bumper of Zane Smith for third. Ryan Priest and Grant Infinger just ahead of them. Infinger the leader. Priest in his Truck Series debut running second.
What an amazing job by the 98 though of Grant Infinger, Vince. You talk about the split season between ThorSport and Cody Robar's team and how good he's been, how solid he's been, and here he is leading here with 29 laps to go.
Check in downstairs with Jamie Little.
David Gilliland Racing loving watching this right now. Ryan Priest, first time ever in a truck, and we've been listening on the radio, and there hasn't been much. He's so happy with it, but he doesn't know what he doesn't know. Having a great time trying to get a win, trying to take some notes for Sunday, guys, but he might bring home that fancy guitar.
Yeah, everybody wants that trophy. The Gibson Les Paul guitar goes to the winning driver, and of course the Gibson headquarters located in Nashville. And it is a super cool item to take home as a trophy.
Got another nice run going for Ty Majeski in that 66 ThorSport truck. You see him right there behind the 52 of Friesen. 7th place at Charlotte, his best career finish here in the Truck Series. Looking to better that here tonight.
And it's a good story, too. Majeski just been working in the shop at ThorSport. Has been in Sandusky, Ohio. He's been a real team player, and because of that, Duke and Rhonda Thorson have given him an opportunity to run a few races behind the wheel, and Majeski has taken advantage of it. Happy for him. Good young man. Good wheelman as well. Coming to 25 to go. Who's going to win at Nashville? It's the battle for the lead. Grant Enfinger and Ryan Preece. Our Camping World, 20 to go. 20 laps to go at Nashville. Grant Enfinger trying to win for the first time this season. Ryan Preece trying to win for the first time in his Truck Series career, because this is his Truck Series debut. Even though he's got a couple of Xfinity Series wins and he's made 93 Cup starts, I'm sure he'd take a lot of joy in winning this one tonight, as would these two young men, Todd Gilliland in the 38 and Zane Smith in the 21. They are fighting it out for third.
What a great drive by the 38 of Todd Gilliland. Started all the way to back, up to third now late in the race.
How about that 21, Jamie?
Well, Zane Smith started ninth, and he's still looking for his first top 5 finish of the 2021 season. He's finished in the top 10 7 different times, but he said we've got to minimize our mistakes. That's what they've been able to finally do tonight. Here in these final laps, though, he is saying this truck is so loose, so they're having him control it with the fans. They said turn that left front fan on, make sure the right front is off. We'll see if we can get you to the checkers.
Explain the fans, Phil, and how that works to change the handling of a truck.
Yeah, you try to, if you got a tire that's overheating and sliding, you put a fan on to cool it off, and it'll allow it to get more grip. So if you're too loose and your right rear is overheating, then you try to put a fan on the right rear to cool that off a little bit and get a little bit of grip. But right now, I don't know what's going to cool off that 17 of Brian Preece. He had a good look at the 98 of Grant Enfinger. I think he probably has a little better truck right now, but it's so difficult to make the pass. Grant's really doing a nice job using up this whole racetrack.
And remember, Infinger last pitted on lap 80. We're not sure he can make it to the end. It is going to be so close. Ryan Preece last pitted on lap 99. No problem for him getting to the end, but he's got to put all the pressure he can on Infinger to make sure Infinger's not saving gas at any point.
I think he runs absolutely as hard as he can and pushes Grant Infinger to try to use that fuel. And these two trucks are running among the fastest laps on the racetrack as Preece tries to get to the inside. Almost there.
Not going to be able to get it. Coming up on that lap truck of Trey Hutchins. Preece again going to take a peek on the inside.
I think Grant put his truck in a perfect spot there, just about a lane off the bottom. It's going to be extremely difficult for Ryan to make that pass on the inside unless Grant bobbles a little bit. Jamie Little, what's going on down there?
Well, watching these two guys at the front of the field, both of them really have nothing to lose. They're in this race to win it. They're not in it for points and thinking about the championship. Now about the 98. They had told him to start saving fuel when he pitted last, but they really haven't said anything since. And guys, like you've said, it's hard for him to save when he's leading the field trying to hold off a hard-charging Ryan Preece.
Yeah, but like you said, Jamie, I mean, the 98 has nothing to lose. I mean, this is a gamble worth taking because Infinger missing that race at Daytona, as we've talked about already in the broadcast, technically not playoff eligible according to the NASCAR rulebook. So Infinger at this point is the points don't matter. It's just trophies for Grant. And Ryan Preece, of course, not running full-time in the series. He's a full-time Cup guy. So it's all trophies for these guys.
I think Grant has another issue. That 38 truck right there, that black truck is looming. That truck has been running some really fast laps. He's been the fastest truck the last 3 laps. So he's going to have teammates ganging up on him as we get down towards the end of this thing.
Yeah, we're a long way with 13 laps to go. I think Gilliland, I'm with you, Phil. I think Gilliland's going to be a factor before too long. And he is coming strong. He's going to join Ryan Preece. The only question is, you know, they've caught Infinger, there's no question, but passing him catching him and passing him, two different things, and Infinger's making that 98 awfully wide right now.
He's doing a nice job running that truck right on the racetrack where it's making it extremely difficult to Ryan to get a run on him. We saw him get a couple runs on him, but not quite be able to get past maybe just the tip of the left rear quarter panel.
Ryan Preece would be the 5th different driver to win in his very first Truck Series start. Joining a pretty accomplished list: Ryan Newman, Casey Kane, Robert Presley, Mike Skinner. But he's got to get around Grant Infinger to add his name to that list. As you see the battle for 5th on the right-hand side of the screen, Ty Majeski, can't say it enough, impressive run for him in the 66, and another solid effort from Stuart Friesen tonight as well.
Now, will Ryan Preece put up a fight to try to keep the 38 behind him? Or will he let the 38 go and not race him that hard and let the 38 take a shot at Infinger?
Ten laps remaining. Grant Infinger leads Ryan Preece and Todd Gilliland. Infinger hoping that he's got enough gas to get to the end. He's been out for 19 laps, longer than both Preece and Gilliland. I think Preece definitely has the faster truck between the 17 and the 98, but he just can't get around Infinger at the moment, as you see David Gilliland, Todd's dad, watching intently as his son maneuvers that black 38 truck in 3rd place.
Boy, Ryan is all over the back of that. Now, he lost the nose right there. That's going to open it up for Gilliland.
It does, and Todd Gilliland moving past Ryan Preece for 2nd. Now can Gilliland close the door and stay in 2nd place and then have a shot at Infinger?
He got loose.
Fights back, and Preece gets it back.
Gilliland got loose when Preece pulled around to the outside.
Just what Infinger wants to see. He wants to see Preece and Gilliland battling for 2nd, and that's going to provide him a little bit more cushion.
Some lap traffic up ahead of these guys. Depends on where you catch them as to how much momentum you might lose. Look at Preece is going to try it on the outside, but Gilliland said, Infinger said, no way.
7 laps remaining around this 1.33 mile concrete racetrack here for the first time since 2011, and it has not disappointed in our return. Priest gets on the inside of Enfinger for the lead. Ryan Priest to the point, but Enfinger fights back on the outside.
I don't think it's going to be enough. No, it's not going to be enough.
Priest washed up just in front of Enfinger. Now Enfinger trying to fight back on the outside again. 6 laps remaining.
What a great battle.
Enfinger's wife, Michelle, due any day to deliver their baby, and what a great way to celebrate the weekend, as if somehow Enfinger could get past and win the race, go home, add to the family. But it's not likely to happen tonight for the 98 of Enfinger, because Todd Gilliland has now just gone around him. Enfinger trying to fight back, but while these two battle, Ryan Priest opens the gap, now ahead by a second.
Yeah, right now, Ryan Priest is saying, please no caution flags. Please no caution flags. What a valiant effort, though, by Grant Enfinger.
Gilliland secures second, but with only 4 laps remaining, does he have enough time to make up that 1 second deficit? Can Gilliland catch Ryan Priest? There's the gap. Gilliland, a winner earlier this season at COTA. Ryan Priest trying to win in his Truck Series debut. 3 laps remaining, as you see the list that Ryan Priest is trying to add his name to as the driver to win in their debut start in the Camping World Truck Series.
What a great pairing it's been for Ryan Priest to get a little of experience at some of the racetracks that he hadn't been to before. This being one of them in Nashville, and man, what a whale of a job he's done.
Drives full time in the Cup Series, of course, for JTG Daugherty. He's got a couple of Xfinity Series wins under his belt. No question about his talent. I don't think anyone has ever questioned it, as he's won so many races on the way up to the big time, as they say, and he is about to add another trophy to the list if he can avoid disaster here in the final lap. Crossing the line, there is 1 to go for Ryan Priest. He'll run next week at Pocono as well. Give him an opportunity to get 2 in a row. And what great experience this should provide him for Sunday's Cup race. Doesn't matter what level you're in, if you're behind the wheel and you're racing, it is so fun to win. And he's going to take home that Gibson guitar. Ryan Priest wins at Nashville.
Nice job, buddy. Those last 2 laps. You did a hell of a job. Good job, brother. Good job.
So cool for Chad Johnson as well on the box as the crew chief for Ryan Priest.
What a day for David Gilliland Racing with Front Row Motorsports, Todd's owner, Bob Jenkins. 1-2 finish.
Jamie Little is with the winning crew chief.
That, Vince. Chad Johnson, a part-timer now over here, comes back, jumps on the box, and you take this man to victory lane. How do you describe what you guys were able to do tonight?
Ryan did an awesome job. You know, it's fun to come out here and do this. I'm learning trucks. You know, I've been cup racing since I moved down here. I spent my first year down here in trucks, so it's a nice welcome back. But it's nice to have Ryan come over, Hunt's Brothers Pizza come over. We're going with him again next week to Pocono, so we'll see if we can't carry it over to there.
Can you find your way to victory lane?
I'm pretty sure I can figure it out.
All right, we'll hear from the driver coming up, Vince.
He's been there before as a Cup crew chief. I'm a big fan of that guy, Chad Johnston. Well done. And Ryan Preece, boy, what a memorable night. In his Truck Series debut, Ryan Preece is going to take it to victory lane at Nashville. Welcome back to Nashville, where Ryan Preece has won in his Camping World Truck Series debut, winner of the Rackley Roofing 200. And you see it there, the 5th driver to win in his debut start. He's in victory lane, and Jamie Little is there to join the celebration.
Hoisting that beautiful Nashville guitar. Thanks to Sam Bass and all that he did in painting those. Ryan Preece, what the heck? You come to the Truck Series for the first time. How much fun was tonight?
It was a lot of fun. Man, pizza and donuts all week. That's all it was. But the Chad, man, he did an awesome job calling the race. Great adjustments. Awesome car with DGR. And this Ford F-150 was pretty stout. Thank you, Kevin Harvick, KHI Management, Hunt Brothers Pizza, and Morton Buildings for stepping up and allowing me to come out here and do this. This is why I love to race. I love winning.
Ryan, I know there's a lot of pressure on Sundays running in the Cup Series, but you get this opportunity. What does it take to get up to speed in something like this that you've never driven before?
Really, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know really anything. I was just taking the guidance from Chad and my teammates. I told them I'd be better in the race, and I wasn't qualifying in practice, and I lived up to that. So happy Father's Day to my dad who's here, my wife who's here. No better place in victory lane.
Congratulations. Led 8 laps tonight. Ryan Preece will try it again next week. Jamie.
Well, after moving up 33 spots, that great battle we saw Todd Gilliland in, he apologized to the crew over the radio. Why are you so disappointed? What more could you have done?
Yeah, I think it's just different circumstances when you're, sometimes you luck into a second and you're super happy with it, but tonight I actually definitely feel like we had the best truck here. So it stings just not to get that last spot, especially because I was under the 17 at one point and just got too loose. So that's racing. That's what they say, and we'll move on. But just again, can't thank Crosley Brands, everyone at Front Row Motorsports, Ford especially. A Ford one too, so that's hasn't been done in a while. Definitely super happy for my dad. He was crew chief in me tonight, and then his truck ended up beating me. So, but overall, just super happy with the progress we've made, and can't wait for the next one.
The day that you had, having to start at the back, having to go through tech again, what was the biggest turning point for your team tonight?
I honestly think we unloaded really quickly or really fast, and we were top of the board most of the practice and race runs, and we felt really excited about our truck for tonight. So I think it just shows the fight. We never really lost focus on it. Obviously the low point being cutting half the nose off and rehanging it and coming out here and still being just as fast. So just huge shout out to my crew guys. I told you when they were working out, I got my best guys on it, and just thank you again to Front Row Motorsports for putting great people behind me.
Certainly able to execute tonight. Nicely done. We're going to walk over to our third place finisher with Grant Enfinger. He led 38 laps in the race tonight. You're not going for points. You're going for the race wins. What else did you need?
We just gave up a little bit there on those old tires. We had a really good Champion Power Equipment Tundra, just not quite good enough to hold off Ryan Preece there at the end. It was fun racing with him. If we're going to lose, I like to lose to a racer like that, so congrats to those guys. But I really wanted to give J-Rod his first truck win tonight. Felt like we had an opportunity, just kind of gave up both right side tires there at the end, just pushing it too hard to try to stay in front of those guys. So thank you to everybody that lets us do this, but I'm in a hurry to get home to see my wife. It should be a big week for our family this week.
Huge week for your family as you're expecting your first child. Any moment now, she's due tomorrow. You get to travel home. What are the plans for the rest of the week?
I don't know. It's going to be her plans for this week. So thank y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's on Mom's agenda now, right? What a great race and a great celebration here in Nashville. Great way to come back to the city with a Ryan Preece win.